Okay, today's video is going to be on how to make a clamp or mount for the Galaxy, or basically any smartphone, to mount it to a tripod. So it's going to be a multi-part series. The first part is on how to make the mount for the phone. So this is a bonus pack that I got when I ordered my new S5 through Costco. They gave everybody a bonus pack, and inside the bonus pack what we see here is, I'm gonna have to stop the video here. Anyway, they make these things ridiculously hard to open. So it comes with the suction cup mount for your phone, and if you look at it, what you'll see is there is the suction cup mount. There's a ball right here, and this swivels. If you look at this thing here, it'll swivel. Rather difficult, but it does swivel. And so you stick this to your glass in your car, and that carries your phone. This part opens and closes and clamps your phone in place. It's got some foam on three sides. So what you do is you take out these 4 screws, and then you're going to remove this ball right here, and I will show you how to do that. Okay, so here's the mount itself, and there's the screws. There's 4 screws, and you're going to take those screws off. Eventually you're going to cut this ball off as well in order to get it out of this plastic housing. What I've already done is I've made one of these units, and here is the spring-loaded mount. And like I said, these things open and close to clamp your phone. Just leave that alone. You don't want things to pop out. This is the bottom section right here. After you take the 4 screws out, one in each corner, what you'll see is there's 3 more screws here. And we'll remove those, and I'll show you what's inside. Okay, so we've got the 3 screws out, and you can see the 3 holes there. We're going to take that plastic piece out. Now this plastic piece will go in any orientation as long as the screws line up. And then what you're left with is this. And see, I've already got this mounted in here and welded, but what you do is you take that whole unit out like that. Okay, and this is just a cup that goes on top. So this right here, this assembly here, is the ball from this. And what I did was, you don't actually cut it off. There is 1 screw that holds the ball to this rod right here, and you just take that Phillips screw off, and I'll show you what I did from there. So this is the ball that comes with this phone mount right here. When you take all of these screws and everything out, you're going to see 1 screw that holds this whole suction cup mount to that ball. So you can remove the screw, and then what I did was I found a compatible screw right here. From there, I got a piece of metal rod, and I filed it, and you can see how I filed it. And I filed it square because it fits inside of this hole. If you look inside that hole, you will see there's a square punch out at the bottom. So that keeps this swivel locked in place with this rod. Then I welded a nut, a 1/4 inch 20, and then I use a 1/4 inch 20 bolt. Now, if you look at your tripod, you probably have a 1/4 inch 20 thumb screw coming up out of the tripod, and it screws into the bottom of, that's a standard camera thread pattern. So I got the nut here, I welded it to the shaft, and then I filed the shaft so that it will fit inside of this little ball here. And once it fits inside the ball, I got this little screw, and I screwed it into the shaft. The shaft itself, I drilled this hole and I tapped it with a cheap set of Harbor Freight taps. So it's not that difficult, but you got to drill in about a 1/2 inch to do that. And then you just assemble everything. This all goes together, and from there it goes back into this mount with this on top of the cup. This goes on top of that ball and right on there like that. So the ball goes here, and then this goes into there, and then you put these 3 screws on. Then you take this whole assembly, flip it over, push it on that, put those 4 screws on, and I'll show you the finished product in a minute. Okay, so I have screwed the ball together. I put the ball in the cup. I put the cup in this part here, and this part goes right over that. Then, if you flip it over, you can put the screws in, and the 3 screws there, and then you're ready to take the 4 screws and mount it to that. Okay, so when you're tightening these 3 screws in, just barely get them in. You don't want to over tighten them because it's going into plastic, and you don't want to break the plastic little mounts under these screws. Now, if you look at this, even though there's 3 screws, it's oriented so that it only goes in one way. So it's kind of foolproof. Shouldn't be too difficult to rotate it until you get these screws lined up with the holes below, and then that should do it. And as far as this goes, it can go in either this way or 180 out. So not critical assembly. Okay, so here's the finished deal right here, and you screw this right onto your tripod. That will allow you to tilt it back and forth. There's plenty of other adjustments on your tripod. You put your phone in right here like this, and it'll help you make YouTube videos. So that should be it for this video. And if you want, check out another video that I'm working on, which is I've got an old Coleman tripod, but the plastic pieces are all broken, so I'm going to be fixing that in my next video.